Alright, what's going on, guys? X2 drop duelist here. So we got a Dragunity versus Trap BA gameplay video for you guys here. So I win the die roll. We're going to go ahead and get shuffled up real quick. So it's funny actually about this Trap BA deck is Mike is piloting it, but it's actually not Mike's deck. It's our buddy Nick's deck. He's a long-time Burning Abyss player. He has played all the way back in like Duelist Alliance and even onward, and yeah, he had like the Dantes when they were like $100 and so on. But it's just funny because when he went to go ahead and build this, because he was like, oh yeah man, tour guides at 3, we have Graphics here to 2, we can play BA again, we can play traps, it's pretty sweet. So he went and dug through stuff, and he doesn't own Scarms, so we're proxying Scarm alongside of course all of my Dragunity proxies. So just to briefly catch up here, so we went, Remus for Dragunity, special Legatus, special Remus, get Gadiarg effect to add Baby Rock, special summon itself, make Crystal on 5 summons to play through Nibiru and other hand traps, and then we're gonna use Ravine and go for Ducks by discarding the Phalanx. The Crystal Wing is actually quite important here because Mike's only 2 hand traps in the deck is Impermanence and Nibiru, so we're always trying to play around that Nibiru, at least in this matchup. So we went for Romulus, we added Glow, we got the Mistleton, and then with the Mistleton we equipped the Gadiarg, banishing Glow to get the Gadiarg, to add Zephyros, to send Zephyros, to make a Tomb, to go for Koos. Yeah, we're kind of just like playing through the combo that I showcased in the deck profile, because we're sort of just like going uninterrupted here. I didn't really need to act that foolish. With the foolish, I was trying to set up a really big Barca play for 3, but the way that it works out is I actually can't even use the extra phalanx that I sent. What I was trying to do here was make a Reed Bear before I did the Guard Dragon plays, but if I did so, I wouldn't have enough of the low level dragons to do the Guard Dragon plays. So I ended up just taking back 2 or 3 things here. I was like trying to figure it out and just going for Protector Whelp, LP Pisty. So yeah, we go for LP Pisty, and then we get Leviathan out of the deck, and the Leviathan is going to give us the Reed Bear by equipping the Phalanx Engrave. So special summon him here. And that's that. So we get the Reed Bear, and then we make a triple burst with the LP and the Protector Whelp, and then we have the Pisty live still. So with that Pisty, we're going to go ahead and make Boral Savage here to end the board off. And then kind of just clean up our shit here, and then set a card and pass it off over to Mike. So Mike's going to go ahead and Giraffe returned. And then I'm going to just like quickly explain to him what we got going on here. He goes for Allure, and I believe it's going to be a banish of a Calcab. Then it's going to be a normal summon of a Rhino Warrior. I think he's kind of just weighing his options here real quick. Yeah, a normal summon is the Rhino Warrior, and then he reveals and specials Graph. It's out of frame though, but I ended up negating with a Reed Bear because the Reed Bear negates and banishes, so we can kind of try to turn him off from Seer reviving that Graph, and he sets 3 back row, and he goes to attack, and I actually end up bouncing one of his back row because my one set card actually is just so good that the seal just doesn't even matter. I might as well just go get the Mistleton so that we can set up an Ascalon play for this this turn we got coming up here. So we end up playing Ravine, and we discard the card that we drew for turn. We'll go ahead and read Ascalon over there in the extra deck. I was checking to see if he banished just monsters, which is just monsters. So see Mike peeking at the back row here. Get the upstart discard for the Dragunity Koos. We're just going to straight up normal the Koos here and make the Ascalon, because the Koos can be treated as a 4. So we can go for 10. Mike goes ahead and reads the Ascalon. And I'll briefly explain what it does. Ascalon says you can banish a Dragunity monster in your graveyard, target one monster opponent controls, and banish it to get around that Rhino Warrior effect. And if you use a short back opponent's card effect, you get a special summon a dragon with 3,000 attack or less. A dragon synchro with 3,000 attack or less. So we attack with Ascalon, he flips Ice Dragon, and then we reboot his whole back row. So there's really not a whole ton that Mike can do about that one. Unfortunately, we just had it. So, you know, that was honestly best case scenario for me. We had the crystal play for the Nibiru, and then the reboot to ensure the crystal play was going to go through. So, we just kind of clean up quickly here, and then just shuffle up and go to game 2, and Mike's going to try to make something happen here. So we'd get the friendly taps because we're not worried about cutting in the casuals. And he's going to go ahead and start it off. I believe it's a special summon of a Livic, or reveal the special to start. Yeah. And then he's going to do a normal summon of Seer so that he can try to start getting his plays going. So he's going to make a Cherubini. Cherubini, I don't know why I said it like that. Cherubini, I don't know, it's weird. So maybe that's like a Euro thing and I just caught onto that. Anyway, so he specials back to Livic with the Seer, and then he's going to go ahead and dump Rhino Warrior, and then he's going to dump Graph after that. And the Graph is going to go get him his fat proxy of a Scarm, which is just a piece of notebook paper that says Scarm in the most bold print possible so that it was legible on the camera. So there's our not so Scarm, and then we're going to go ahead and make a Dante. I think he quickly checks his extra deck here just to make sure that's what he's going to try to do. Not, you know, trying to see if there's no like other shenanigans he can get into. You know, peek at his hand, peek at the extra, make sure what he's about to do is what he for sure wants to do. So he's gonna eventually overlay into Dante once he's done fucking playing with his dick over there. So yeah, some Dante detach the Scarm. He's gonna mill 3, and he mills absolute trash. So he sets 2 back row, passes it over to me. So my hand is actually fairly decent for trying to play through stuff here. Oh, he gets his Scarm for Tour Guide, and then I go Dragon Shrine, and I send the Leviathan here. I send the Leviathan so that if things go south, hopefully I can resolve his effect to try to get at least a body on board to, you know, try to continue some kind of play, because he can banish a Dragunity monster equipped with a dragon monster and special summon himself, and then he can then re-equip the dragon monster that was, you know, previously equipped, because on summon he equips a dragon from your graveyard, so you get your Kus, your Phalanx, and go that way. But so we go Ravine here, we discard the Kus, we add the Legatus, and then we're going to go ahead and discard a Remus to add a second Ravine, so we can try to set up Legatus's effect. So Legatus has an additional effect outside of the special summon effect. If you control a Dragunity monster that is, I think it's actually more something along the lines of if a dragon is in your spell and trap zone. I think that's what it is. If a dragon's in your spell and trap zone, you can pop a spell or trap. So I'm trying to like force a negation here. Just force some kind of interaction with the back line. So we special the Legatus, we normal the Ducks, and then we're going to go ahead and target the Kus. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Just ask a few questions quickly, and then equip the Kus, and we flip over a Fire Lake, and he pops the whole board. He pops everything, so monsters and the Ravine. So I then play the Guard Dragon, and that really bails me out here. The World Legacy Guard Dragon kind of saved my ass. We go for Kus, we special Remus by his own effect, and then we make Romulus. I think I originally tried to get Glow, and then I think about it for a second more, and I'm like, no, we're gonna go get Lance. But the Lance is gonna help us set up Guard Dragon plays, much like how Dragon Link does. So put that back, and then we just go ahead and get Lance instead, and the Lance is going to go ahead and net us a singular copy of Phalanx, which I just shed out on the board just to skip a few steps. And this is where I actually cheat. So I make this LP here, which is completely legal, and then I go ahead and use the World Legacy Guard Dragon to move the LP. But I cheat because I try to send this Dragunity Divine Lance to special summon back this Leviathan, which is not a legal play. Because like I said earlier, Leviathan has to banish a dragon monster equipped with a dragon monster. So everything you're seeing here is completely illegal. However, if I just summoned Pisty instead of LP, I could have ended on basically the same end board that I leave off on. It would just be less damage. So if I went for Pisty instead of LP, I could have then special back the Leviathan from the graveyard by doing the same kind of thing, summon it, and then move it over to clear up the zone, and then I can make the Reed Bear with the Phalanx that I equip to the Leviathan, and then I can then make the Heretic Seal that I make after I punch Mike for the Chet's amount of damage. It's like 7 grand or something, so it really only should have been 33, but honestly, I don't think it really matters too much just because the way that this plays out. So here I go, I make the seal, but like I said, if I just did Pisty first, it would have just been seal, a Reed Bear, and, 4,000 less points of damage, which, is not super relevant because of the way this goes here. So I think he just goes and normal summons his tour guide, and his one back row is actually a tech card that him and Nick are trying out. They are playing a few copies of Dark Sacrifice. If you do not know what Dark Sacrifice does, Dark Sacrifice says if your opponent activates a card or effect, I believe that would destroy a card on your field or something along those lines, you can negate it, and then you can send a Fiend monster from your deck to your graveyard. So the idea is it's really good going first, and it's really good going second. And the reason the card's good going second is because, you're playing a trap deck, so going second, you're just going to, at least with this, you're going to try to make a Dante, and then you're going to set back row. So you figure, if your opponent has negate board, you can be like Icy Dragon Imprisonment, and then you can target their red eyes and then try to banish the Dragoon, and then in that case they would obviously negate because Icy Dragon outs Dragoon, and then you can flip your Dark Sacrifice and then you can negate Dragoon's negation and resolve your Ice Dragon anyway, and also send a Farfoot to threaten another interruption. So it's actually quite good in theory. However, a Reed Bear negate and banishes, and a seal is a bounce, so it really does nothing for him here. So we kind of just clean him up. We just chat a little bit about it and just how unfortunate it is that is the two cards that I made, because like I said, if he had if I had like a Crystal Wing or something instead, then he could have Dark Sacrifice and then sent a Farfa and got rid of my seal and hopefully tried to play and still resolve his tour guide, try to get back on his feet. But it's just funny the way that worked. So that's going to be it, guys. That's all I really got. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time. Yeah, goddamn simps.